Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the McFarlane Toys Collector's Edition Huntress. If Saturday morning cartoons fueled your imagination as a kid and powers your action figure collecting now as an adult, then you're in the right place. Thanks for stopping by and welcome to Saturday Morning Toy Collector.
And if you like my content, please consider subscribing.
All right, taking a closer look at the front of the package here, we do see that McFarlane Collector's Edition branding on the side of the box. We see the card here, everything she comes with, and no card display stand. And that's a good thing because I want to talk about that for a second. You know, last year when McFarlane Toys announced this collector's edition line and that the price would be, you know, higher, instead of $25, it's going to be $29.99, or, you know, right at that $30 price point. You know, all that he promised in that line at that point when the first few figures came out was, you know, a display stand very similar to this. I don't know if this is the exact one that was in the first wave, because I got this with the manga Batman, and it just held the card, and so you got a display stand and the card, and I was like, that's not worth $5 extra to me. That's not what I want. If you know, if there's a collector's edition and you're going to charge me $5 more, give me extra heads, give me extra hands, give me, you know, wired soft goods. Like, that's what we want. We don't want a display stand for our cards. That's not worth the $5 extra. So I guess slowly over the last year, they have sort of done that. That seems to be what they've done here with this particular figure, because I can see, you know, we've got a wired cape going on. We've got not 2 extra heads, but 2 extra face plates. I'll take it. That's same thing. And then some extra hands here. So I'm very happy that the collector's edition is starting, you know, to shift more towards that. We see the McFarlane Collector's Edition Huntress, new 52 on the side, number 23 in the line, and then some actual very beautiful artwork on the back. Rarely am I kind of blown away by the artwork on the back, and I'm not sure who drew this, but this artwork and the coloring is fantastic. It's absolutely beautiful. And if you wanted to like cut this out and use this as a backdrop for your character, I'm sure that would. Are those panties? Okay, there's panties on the package. All right, so let's get the Huntress to open up and see everything she comes with. Okay, starting off, we do have that same artwork from the back of the package on the card. That little foil stamping right there hit. That's really nice. And then we have some more foil on the back. So, you know, an upgraded card. And if you do happen to have one of these display stands, of course, you could always, you know, drop the card in there. I'm sure it's the same size, and you can display that with your figure if you wanted to. Again, this does not come with the figure, but if you happen to have one, you certainly could use it with the card. After that, she does come with her singular weapon, which is this crossbow. I don't really care much for this. There's no paint hits on it. There's no silver. There's no purple. This looks very much like a toy. I mean, I know it's an action figure, but the crossbow looks like a toy crossbow. It doesn't look like a nice, you know, detailed crossbow that goes with this particular figure. If anybody out there has a better idea or a better lead on a crossbow out there, let me know, because I'd like to upgrade this to a different crossbow. She does come with several hands, so we're going to get 3 pairs of hands total. So we get 2 fists, which are very nice for punching bad guys in the face. We have 2 gesturing hands, which I absolutely love. I wish more McFarlane figures came with these. So 2 gesturing open splayed hands, which is great. And then 2 sort of weapon holding hands with trigger fingers. So you could put her in, you know, put the crossbow in either hand that you wanted to. Now we're also going to talk about the face plates. So these just plug right on the front of the face, and we get 3 different styles here. So this is the one that just comes on her standard in the package. So very stoic, very nonplussed, you know, there's just not a lot of emotion here. It's very stoic. faceplate, and then we get the one that's very similar to that, but now she's just smirking. She has more friendly eyes and more of a smirk on her face, and that looks really cool. I really dig this one the most. It's probably what's going to go on her on the figure on my shelf. And then we have a different style of mask where it's the smaller mask. I like to call this, the Hawkeye style mask or the Wolverine style mask. We have a smaller mask that looks more like Batgirl's mask with the hair that comes down in the front. And the way you plug that on is you can see how she looks. So we're only going to get one head sculpt with one, style of hair swooping. So you just you plug that in, and that's how it looks. And if you want to pop that off, put on the other faceplate, is super easy to do. The seam is very well hidden, and if you want to go with just the hair and the smaller mask, you certainly could. An extra head would have been nice, one without the swooping hair, but I feel like if we'd have got a non-swooping hair, people would have complained, and they would have been like, hey, I want that swooping hair. How come we can't get that swooping hair? So I dig it. I always prefer more dynamic hair or facial expressions and wired capes so that we can get those into some really nice poses on our shelves. And then the last thing she comes with is this DC stand, which I don't know if I know that I got the anime Batman, and I don't know if he was particularly labeled as a collector's edition version. I'm not sure, but this one has the silver DC logo because most of them just have this little spot varnish DC logo that's black and a little different. So let's get her up on the rotating base and see how she looks. And here she is right out of the package up on the turntable, so we can get a good look at her in 360 degrees, and she is looking mighty fine. I love this outfit. I know that there is a platinum chase version of this figure where she's got the more magenta looking costume, and I forgot which comic series that comes from. I'm not a huge comic reader anymore. I haven't read. I read individual stories from from time to time, but I haven't followed any particular storyline for a long time. So I know that there is a different version, same sculpt, just a different colorway of this figure out there. But I love this. To me, this is more of the classic Huntress. I don't have a Huntress in my collection, and I saw this, and it came with all the accessories and everything that I wanted. And I was like, okay, I'll reward McFarlane with my $30 to pick this figure up. I like the black and white mixed with the purple. I like the windswept hair. I like everything we've got going on here. I've seen in other reviews that people have pointed out that the lower half of her is like the Arkham Knight or Arkham City, like Catwoman reuse of the legs, but I think maybe the arms are new and different. I like the belt. I like the cape. Everything about this is just great. I'm really hoping that she is as fun to pose up as she is to look at. And man, I got to tell you, I'm really happy for that display stand, because when we get to the feet, oof, boy, she is not easy to stand without that display base. So again, we're going to take a closer look at this head and what's going on here with the hair. You can see we have this strand kind of blowing off to this side. From the front, it doesn't look so bad, but from the back, it just seems kind of out of place. But her hair's all swept to one side. It's nicely sculpted, but no wash on that hair. One of the things I find is that and I hope this is coming across on camera, is that I find that all three of the faceplates are kind of shiny. So I may hit the faceplates alone, just the faceplates with some clear matte spray, because like a dull coat, because they're just a little too shiny for me. I like these shoulder pads. You can see here, like if we can see what's going on underneath the head. Looks like the cape is made into the figure, like underneath. It looks like it's glued underneath here. So I don't know about swapping the head out. I'm sure you could like heat it up and swap that out if you wanted to do a different head on her, or for like an unmasked look. But as far as like looking back, because of that hair, you're not going to go back very far. So she's not going to be able to look up. You would have to like do something with like leaning her back a little bit to get that to happen. But for looking down, she can look down just a little bit. She can look down about that far. And again, that hair is kind of going to get in the way with tilt. So you're not really getting any tilt. A little bit this way. The figure seems to like want to push this way, the head. So I'm always constantly trying to like push it back this way a little bit to get it a little more evened out there. Looks like the shoulder pads are glued onto the shoulders, so they're separate from the shoulders, so you can probably push forward about that far before they start wanting to like pull off of where they're glued. They can go all the way out to the side. and mostly hit that T-pose. Let's see, we do have upper bicep swivel. We have double jointed butt pinned elbows, so she can crunch all the way up with her arms. We do have this upper diaphragm cut and a waist joint, so we got both of those, and when you couple those together, she can crunch forward about that far, she can lean back that far. No worrying about the gap, because it looks like her lower abdomen goes all the way up underneath the top portion, and she is definitely painted all the way up, so that's nice. We do have this really nice belt. I kind of feel like this belt could have like some silver hits like right here on these little cables that go all the way around. I may do that. Because this may be the only Huntress figure that I ever own. And I wonder if something like this makes me purchase the more expensive, like, Mafex Hush version, because I bought the Marvel Legends the Marvel Legends Carnage right before the holidays. I found him on discount for like $14 at Target, and I bought him, and he was so fun to pose that it made me buy the Mafex version of a character that I otherwise wouldn't have bought. She does have sort of like that rubber diaper thing going on, but that doesn't really hinder movement. She can kick all the way forward, kick all the way out to the side, and then she can kick back a fair amount. She does have pinned but double jointed knees, can go all the way back, kick her on butt, almost getting there, which is nice. We don't have much of a rotation at the thigh, no thigh cut, and then no boot articulation at the top, but we do get this huge, awkward, weird looking hinge and then forward facing pin. And this has got to be the most useless toe articulation on the planet. I'm not sure even why she has this. I mean, we're like, look at that. Like, that's the range of motion. Why include it? Why include this extra bit of tooling for this? This is just useless and completely unnecessary. The hands are very easy to swap out. You just give them a pull, the peg stays in, and then you can take a new hand and just pop it on, and it looks really nice. I love those gesturing hands. Every figure should come with gesturing hands. As far as the cape goes, we do have some pretty noticeable and large stitching, but at least it's white and it's in a white spot, so you know it kind of blends in. It doesn't feel like, nope, there is no wire at the bottom, which again, that's kind of skimping out. I would like wired all the way around, but we do have a nice wire here on the edges, so it's definitely going to hold a nice pose, and then it's just going to fold the way it folds right there. But I think it's still very nice. It's a very nice heavy wire, and this is really light, so it holds the shape very well. So let's get her in a lineup with some other characters from McFarlane and see how she stacks up height-wise. So as far as the size comparison goes, here she is with the Hush Batman, which I think she scales very nicely if you wanted to put her on your Hush shelf. And then here she is next to Selena Kyle from the Dark Knight, who is, you know, made to ride the bike, the Bat Pod, and is not really good at standing up. Thankfully, we have her on a display base. So you can see how she scales, you know, with another female McFarlane. I think this is the only other female McFarlane figure that I own, and then how she scales with a Batman. So let's get these guys out of the way. Let's get her into some lighting and into some backgrounds and see how she poses up. I have to say that when I saw this figure in stores, it was kind of like a twofold reaction. One, I was like, now this is what I want from a collector's series figure. I want the extra heads, faceplates, whatever, the extra hands. I don't need a card holder, and I do want the cloth cape. So she kind of had all of the goods that I was looking for, and I was like, I want to reward them for doing what this line should be doing anyway. I don't collect a lot of McFarlane, so I don't pay attention. I don't know how many, you know, the other 22 figures that have been released in the collector's edition line, how good they are with this type of accessories and heads and hands. I just don't buy a lot. I love Batman, and so McFarlane's making Batman, so, you know, I buy the select Batman figure here and there. But she also looked like a good pose figure. And what I mean by that is she looked like a really good figure that I could, you know, take her, you know, with me to like card pickup when I pick up my kids, and just play around with and take pictures in my car. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you can see, you know, my car series where I post pictures of, you know, figures that I pose and play around with. So that was the other reason that I picked her up, is because I was like, hey, you know, she fits in with the Batman shelf. I don't have any other Huntress figures. She looks good. She looks like she'll be fun to pose, and she really is. This is a really good figure. You know, I don't have a lot of gripes and complaints. This is a really nice figure. And is it worth $30? Oh man, I don't know. I think I would have felt better if it was 25, but then that's me, just nitpicking on what I already want them to do. If they're going to charge $5 more, then give us more stuff, and that's what they did. And that's why I picked up this figure, was to sort of reward them by saying, I approve of this and I'm voting with my wallet. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I super appreciate it. Please continue to check us out over at Instagram at Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I am your Saturday Morning Toy Collector, Mark, and I will see you in the toy aisles.